Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 60 of Scion of the Dark House, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Gothic horror podcast. Due to this being Gothic horror, there may be some things that come up to a line for some people, such as blood, gore, violence, body horror, child endangerment, talk of abuse and trauma, and other such things. If anything comes up to a line for you, please take a break. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So, the last time Arthur was pulled into the Feywild to speak with Lucky, a very familiar purple tiefling, who gave him some interesting information as well as some possible leads to additional information that may reveal who their mother is, a mysterious figure possibly known as the Lady of Stars. Returning to the material plane, the group concluded their investigation and decided that the basement was off limits for the moment due to not knowing what's down there, as well as knowing exactly what's down there, a city-sized aberration that they have no idea how to deal with. They decided instead to go and investigate Balthazar's house in Mourning that he had bought when he separated from the family. However, beforehand, as they went home and stopped at a tavern for a drinking competition,
I won.
Oscar woke up and apparently went ballistic. The group went to the hospital and sedated him with a calm emotions spell before attempting to communicate with him, where they found that he was insane and had forgotten almost everything about himself and the surrounding world. Finding no useful information, there was a brief argument on whether or not he should die or survive before Dorothea sedated him and put him back to sleep. The group then went back to the house after a long and exhausting day, went to sleep, woke up, and began preparing for their trip to Mourning, where Percy and Alex went to the Staff of Night to find the Bardic department. They spoke with a professor, Clarissa Dern, who demonstrated to them the power that the music that they had given the Bardic department was. They believe that it was a direct portal to the astral plane, and if an entire orchestra played the music, who knows what could come through. We'll jump ahead a little bit, since I'm assuming you have asked all of the questions. Well, she clearly had given all of the information she was going to, handed you back the music sheet, and went off to teach one of her classes. So you all have regrouped after purchasing your various different accoutrement and food stuffs for the road. So what would you all like to do?
I'm just headcanoning that she looks like Laura Dern, just so everyone knows. She's Laura Dern circa the Star Wars movies with like the lavender hair. That is what that professor looks like. You're welcome.
Well, I did mention that she had slicked back brown hair, but otherwise, yes, she will look like
She's still that. I'm just gonna staple a picture of Laura Dern's face on top of her face.
Sure, I will allow you to do that.
So, as we're about to head out, I might actually want to talk to my dad and see if he has any records of like the address that we're going to. So we're not just like looking through the whole city of Mourning.
Which is probably about 2 to 3 times the size of Darkmoor.
Yeah.
So it's big. You would know that Mourning is the place that originated the religion that you are a part of. And it holds the Grand High Cathedral, or its true name, the Grand High Cathedral of the All Saints, which is practically a city inside of the city where the clergy live. The Archbishop, the High Archbishop, who is basically the Pope, but we can't really call him the Pope. And the cardinals have their worship ceremonies there, make their decisions there. They decide and have their own councils and things like that in this place. It is also the place where most of the saints are buried or have their bodies been moved to. It has the highest amount of relics, and there are very few times in which the public in general are allowed to go inside of the actual grounds. There is a cathedral, the Cathedral of the All Saints, that they can go into, whereas the High Cathedral is just for the Archbishop and the Cardinals. You could get inside because you are a card-carrying member of the clergy. You might not be able to get into the High Cathedral, but you could get into the grounds of this place, and you could bring your party with you. You have the power to do so. Clergy are allowed to bring their entourage with them. Mostly this is presumed because they're either believed to be pilgrims or assistants or other such things that the priest might need, and so you would be able to take everyone inside with you, but you would have to be the one to get them in.
Cool. So how much like medieval Europe is like the relic situation? Can we like steal one for a lot of money? Because that was what their whole economy was based around relics for a while there.
I would say that time has definitely passed. The church has a very tight control over the relics of various saints. If someone catches wind of a relic, it is instantly investigated and confiscated if need be. Clerics are allowed to keep relics provided that they are small or that they are guarded. You remember one of the relics, the Bell of St. Golgotha? The church would have extensive paperwork on that bell and would probably send somebody around to check on it every once in a while to make sure it's still there and it's not being used for anything untoward. But otherwise, you can't just nick a relic and sell it for thousands of dollars. You'd get in trouble. And Percy would probably explain that to you if that question ever came up. So yeah, this city is absolutely and utterly huge. So yeah, you can definitely, you return to the house and you approach your father, who at this point is probably sitting at the dining room table, finishing up breakfast, possibly reading some paperwork that he would need to do beforehand. And he kind of looks up. Oh, Percy, I see you're back. Weren't you going somewhere this morning?
Yeah, we're headed to Mourning to look into Balthazar's old residence, and we were hoping you might have something that could point us in the right direction, because we don't want to just wander around the city.
I don't think I have anything on that. I'm sorry, I don't think I have any of that paperwork with me. You can always check with the registrar or magister's office in Mourning. I'm sure there's someone there who would know who you were. Perhaps see if you can get in touch with the lady that got in touch with you to give you the house. She might have some records, or at least have access to the records. I don't have any paperwork.
Okay. Well, that's at least somewhere we can start. We'll be back. I don't know when.
All right. Well, I will see you then, I guess. Safe travels, of course. Your mother and I want you to come back in one piece.
I love you too, Dad. And I'll give him a little hug, and I think Holly's probably around. And I'll ask Bella to play with you, Holly.
Okay. And she kind of runs off. She continues. She kind of is like in hyperactive toddler mode, just like running around in circles, just finding ways to entertain herself.
Yeah. I'll just look at my dad once again, like, keep an eye on her.
Oh,
Have
yes.
you taught her how to stab people yet?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I think we're going to avoid
Rosie
that.
how to stab people.
Well, she was a rose bush, not a...
Yes, self-defense. In a cruel, cruel world like this.
I'm pretty sure most people are going to stay away from a walking doll. They have connotations. They have associations that are not good.
So happy we saved her. How are you doing, Halls?
I'm having fun.
Good.
I'm glad. We're gonna go.
And so you
Right.
head back out
Yeah.
onto the road.
Is there like a stable or something we could rent a carriage from?
Yes, there would definitely be a stable. We'll just skip over that. You guys managed to get the cart, get the horses that you need, get the feed that they need.
Did we get the drugs for the cat?
I think Arthur picked
We'll
that
just
up.
yeah, we'll just say that Arthur got that. He got a combination of catnip and sleeping draught that would only put her to sleep for about an hour at a time. Got a few doses of that. And will administer when needed. So
Hell
you
yeah.
all are back on the road. You rumble down the long, long road to Gallows. You pass your house and you are off. Is there anything specific that you would like to do during this time?
You know, we could maybe take those undead horses out sometime. I don't know how people would react to that, but I guess it's an option.
I mean, those would be cheaper and
Mhm.
theoretically would never require rest.
Yeah. We'll talk it over. But yeah, I mean, is there really much to do?
I'll keep an eye out once we pass the ecological disaster we left early in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
just to see if it's like spreading through the forest anymore. I'm gonna keep an eye and a nose out for that.
Yeah. You pass a certain section of the road on your way. Through the trees, you see there is a section that is darker, as if the sunlight isn't quite touching it. It hasn't grown any bigger, but it certainly has not gone away.
That's suspicious.
Oh, you weren't here for that. Don't worry about it, darling.
Oh, okay, never mind then. It's just y'all fucking up shit as usual. Whatever.
Are we just gonna leave that there forever?
I mean, it's an improvement.
Right.
I mean, it's the easiest way for us to get back to the Feywild. Just saying.
I guess it is. I just don't love putting other people in danger.
I mean, how many locals really have probably gone missing at this point? 5, maybe 6?
Well, maybe we close it after all this is over.
Good luck.
Yeah, we just keep going, I guess. I can't really think of anything I want to do.
Yep. So it's nearing the evening. It's probably around 7 o'clock by the time you actually roll up to Gallows. It's a lot less decorated than it was before. It clearly is not a sort of bonfire night tonight. It's just a regular night. And the familiar the familiar tavern, the Busted Casket, sits at the corner of the intersection where the sort of gallows is still sitting. Still with a scarecrow hanged on the gallows, very clearly with the straw poking out where the gloves and the neck and poking out between some of the buttons on the shirt, swaying in the breeze. But there's a lot less pennants and banners and flower crowns and ribbons and things like that.
Still think about when we were here during the Donkey Festival and I was drunk and everyone else was asleep, and Yofi was the only one that saw the donkey ghost, and then just decided not to tell anyone about it.
Yep. That was a thing.
That was the night that I fulfilled my life debt to you too. Yay!
I forget what that was.
Oh, you would have drowned in your own vomit that night.
Ah, okay.
So it's a shitty way for me to clear that debt, but like, I'll keep him alive.
Yeah, but otherwise, the small town of Gallows is just as you left it. I'm assuming you check into the tavern, check into the inn.
Yeah, I mean, it took us the whole day to get there.
Basically,
Sure.
yeah. Yeah, and you have a nice night's rest. I would say probably mark off like maybe about 2 gold, someone, for the rooms for the night and the
Cool.
stable.
Got it.
So whoever wants to pay for that. All right.
Thanks, Percy.
And in the morning, you are given your cart and your horses back. And it is back on the road, rumbling towards the very familiar short drop run. Is there anything that you would like to do on the way, or shall we skip directly to you rolling into town?
Yeah, I guess we can just get there, right?
I can't think of anything we did on the way there to check in on.
Well, at least not between Gallows and Short Drop Run.
Yeah. It's like at the individual hamlets, we should probably check in on some people.
Yeah, we can check in on the little elf girl.
One that was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably around, I would say, 5 in the evening when you finally roll into the very familiar town of Gnashing. It doesn't look that much different from when you left it. The buildings are all still in the same location. The people somewhat vaguely familiar in a sense of you were aware they were there. But you also notice there's a surprisingly large amount of bodies that are still being buried.
And what town are we in?
Gnashing.
Which is the town where those elves were, Charles and Saluna and Charlotte.
Yes.
This is where they were.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is this town.
Cool. So are they like actively carting bodies in a big cart right now or something? Or what do you mean bodies are being buried?
Yeah, basically there are wheelbarrows of bodies. They don't look to be fresh bodies.
Does
They
it
look to be
look like
significantly
these were
rotted
undead
bodies.
things that came
Possibly.
back? Okay.
Possibly.
Yeah, I guess we'll stop the cart and start walking. I know I was hoping the undead problem around here might have gotten a bit better since we were here last.
Was this the place where the stable boy got strangled to death by a swarm of...
I think that was a different town. I think
It wasn't in a town specifically. The Maggoty Grave is basically at an intersection where the roads
Gotcha.
lead out to all 3 towns. It's the closest to Wailing, though.
Yeah.
Where is this new?
What?
You have not been here.
Okay, gotcha. Just
I mean,
just looking around, being like, "What the fuck? Where am I? This is cool."
I don't know how far you think you've traveled outside of Darkmoor, or if you've stayed in Darkmoor your entire life.
All right. Well, I guess we can ask around a bit. The only people I can think of to talk to is that family, the Charles, Saluna, and Charlotte. Should we check in with them?
Oh, we really should.
Yeah, I guess we'll head to where we know their house was.
Yep, it is at the top of the hill. You also notice that there are more witch hazel plants that are growing outside of the house, but it is also not covered in blood and does not have a donkey head nailed to the door, or a goat head, I should say, nailed to the door.
Yeah, I guess they'll knock. And witch hazel was the plant they used to combat the consuming twilight, right?
Not exactly combat. It was more of used as a painkiller,
Gotcha.
as a mild herbal painkiller for the disease. But yeah, you knock at the door, and opening the door is Saluna. She has a shawl wrapped around her, and she does kind of lean against the door a little bit, but she looks around. Oh, hello. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. And at this point, you do see Charlotte just run across in the background, just
looking very healthy.
yeah.
So the mom Saluna is leaning though? Does she look unwell?
Well, she doesn't look any more unwell than the first time you met
Yeah,
her.
she also had consuming twilight, but she was like
Yes.
at a stable point of it. It wasn't actively killing her.
Yeah, hers was moving slower than apparently Charlotte's was. So she's not actively dying of it, but it is certainly at the point where it is hindering her everyday life.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just speak and say that we just happened to be passing through again, and well, we were curious about how little Charlotte was doing.
Oh, yeah, she's been doing so much better. Yeah, we're glad to have her around still. And she does kind of, you do notice she stops. She's still kind of running around, and you notice her dad is chasing her, and she does kind of stop and and then starts running around again.
That's like a blood curse.
What?
I'm confused. What's happening? What's the ailments? Can I use remove curse or anything, or no?
I
desperately really want to use remove curse.
No, it's a disease. Well, you're a half elf, so you would probably know about it. Consuming twilight is a genetic disease that some elves have and some half elves have. It first shows up. All elves that have it have a crescent moon highlight that's just eternally in their pupils.
Okay.
So you can tell just by looking at them. You do not have it. Your mother does not have it. And you can't get it because it's a genetic disease. So if you don't have it already, you just won't get it. It is very random about how it progresses. Some elves live their entire life without getting a single symptom. Others get all the symptoms all at once in childhood and die.
Gotcha.
It starts generally with coughing and fatigue, and then progresses to aches and headaches, and finally coughing up blood and just being so weak that you can't even leave your bed, and then death.
Fun.
Saluna, darling, could you tell us what's going on out there exactly?
Oh, it was the strangest thing. It was a while after you all had left. There was a night when just fog rolled in, and almost by the hundreds, these things came. Skeletons, zombies, all kinds of things just came to the village and started attacking. And then they just all dropped dead. They just dropped to the ground at some point, halfway through whatever they were doing. And we haven't, at least not in Gnashing, we haven't had any problems with the undead since.
So all these bodies that are being carted around are still just cleanup from that.
Yes, it was quite a bit. We've been scouring the forest and the fields to find every single last body. They haven't moved since, but I mean, at this point, we aren't taking any risks.
And why don't you have one of the goat heads on your door exactly?
Well,
Right?
That was someone like sabotaging their house.
Oh yeah.
Well, Billy Bladder has been missing. Actually, we don't know where he is. He just up and vanished. Not that anyone really, not that anyone really cares. He was a dick, but he went missing at some point, maybe 2 weeks before the attack.
How long ago was this attack?
I don't quite remember. And also because I don't quite remember when you guys went to the Shadowfell. I don't remember how long ago that was. But let's just say she gives you an answer and it is around that time. It is coincidentally very close to that time.
Cool. Lark's gonna side-eye Percy for a minute and just be like, can I talk to this woman? With his eyes.
I just kind of roll my eyes and like take a step back to let Lark take center stage.
Now, Saluna, darling, how is little Charlotte doing exactly? Running around, a little bit of a cough here and there.
Yes, about that, yeah.
Now, I'm just dying of curiosity about what deal you made to keep her alive.
Hello?
What do you mean, what deal?
Oh, come now, Saloon. I'm going to subtle spell suggestion as I just say, you can tell us the truth, you know. I'd really like to hear it. So can I get a saving throw from her?
Yes, I'm going to say she does not have a bonus.
Oh, then she has to beat a 17.
She rolled a 3. I honestly don't know. The last thing I remember was Charles going to the hags in the woods, and he said everything was fine after that.
Oh, Charles is the husband, right?
Yes.
Charles! Charles Chuckles, darling. Come here.
And he kind of, you see him talking to Charlotte, and he kind of pats her on the head. And then Saluna walks away from the door and she goes, and it looks like she's not exactly playing with Charlotte. She's more of kind of either kneeling or sitting next to her while she kind of gets maybe like a teddy bear and is kind of playing with that. And he comes to the door. Hello again. I didn't know you were dropping by.
Passing through. Am I right, boy? Like Lark looks at everybody else. Am I right, boys? We're just passing through, living our good lives. All those things you mortals do. Though, Charles, from what I hear, your daughter's practically not even a mortal anymore. Now, your sweet wife over there just so kindly informed me about your little trip off into the woods, and to be fair, we also did deal with Middenheap's coven a few times, so why don't you clue me in on exactly what happened?
I mean, I went to them and they gave me something that staved off the disease.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, you may insight check him.
What a good. The 24 for Percy.
Oh,
Oh.
Jesus. I got a 17 for Lark.
Well, yeah, because you get a +10 to that stuff.
Or just +4. I'm not good at wisdom. I'm just proficient in it.
Right. He's not exactly lying. There are some untruths, but he's not exactly lying.
Charles, I don't want to have to hurt you. I don't even want to have to use magic to rip the truth from your lips. So,
Are you
level with us.
threatening me in my own home?
No, I'm telling you, I would like to not threaten you in your own home, but you do have to understand the position that you're currently in. Middenheap's coven is dead. You realize that, correct?
What difference does that make? You're also, why are you?
Charles, hags don't give anything away for free. It's not part of the MO. What did you trade them for your daughter's life? Because from what we know, like Lark's, he's not, Arthur's with us. I feel like maybe he's standing outside a little bit or something, because like this whole scenario is how his whole village died.
Yeah, I'd say Arthur is probably a little ways away, letting Jasmine like run around because she's probably been asleep or dosed with catnip the whole day. So this is kind of like her, get all the energy out before she goes to sleep for real time. So yeah.
What did you trade? What did you bargain? What did you agree to do? You can tell me. I'm Faye. I'm practically your only option if you want to keep your daughter alive, based on the fact she's coughing again. Can I persuade him to like drop the bullshit?
Yes, you may give me a persuasion check
Oh no, let us hope I roll good.
with your +1,000,000,000.
It's not +1 billion. My persuasion checks are only +9.
Oh, I thought they were +10.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Look, when I went to them, I was desperate. And he kind of looks over his shoulder at his wife playing with Charlotte and then kind of looks back. Look, I was desperate. I woke up in the middle of the night. I went to check on her. She wasn't breathing. I grabbed her. I ran to where I knew I could get help. Everyone knew that the hags were there. I went to them. They said they could do it for me. They said they had a way to pay for me. It didn't matter. I just wanted my daughter back. They brought her back to life. They handed her back. I went back to my house, put her back to bed. And when my wife woke up, she was none the wiser. Now that I've told you, I want you to get the fuck off of my porch.
I'm not
I
on
want
your
you out
porch.
of my house right now.
You realize you bartered away your whole town's souls practically, right?
Well, it doesn't matter now.
I mean,
It
What
doesn't
happened,
matter.
and this conversation is entirely done. Go away. And he backs out and just slams the door.
Lark's just gonna giggle because he's gonna be like, when she killed them, their contracts defaulted to the queen.
So his people aren't safe yet.
His family's not.
Do you think they would touch the girl?
I don't know. I was trying to find out what was happening with her, because if the hags cured her, why was she still coughing? But
Well, it seems they didn't completely cure her.
no.
The disease normally is a lifelong hindrance. You know, Lark, this is, again, one of the few times that I genuinely feel you've done a good thing. In telling your people what was happening, you saved a lot of lives.
Oh, I only did that so that they wouldn't get in my way, Percy.
I know, but in your own way, you did something good. I was going to ask him to say thank you, but it seems he's not of mind to do that.
I mean, mortals. Can't live with them. Can't threaten them, apparently, or try to warn them about the way contracts default for our kind. That's how Arthur wound up dragging us all to the Feywild in the first place, dear. So,
Do you think it would... Is there anything we can do to help them?
I don't really care to. It was rather...
Well, if you did, maybe not him. What about Charlotte and Seluna?
I
They
mean,
don't deserve the damnation of the unseelie court.
I wouldn't say it's damnation. If anything, they could possibly live longer if they were to go there. Maybe. Or they could die. Or get eaten. Or eviscerated. Or turned into a purse. I saw that happen one time.
What kind of purse was it?
Leather.
Mm.
I didn't think you could make such a small bag out of one bugbear, but I digress.
I know somebody who made lampshades out of one.
Oh,
What I think his name was.
Why don't we leave some contact information in case he comes to his senses and wants help with his deal?
I mean, I already left a seed with the child the first time we passed through.
I forgot you did that.
Perhaps the hags interfered with that, or we're just biding our time.
Can we go chat with the hags? Maybe they have some info on it. Are they dead?
They're dead.
Oh, Alex. Sorry. I feel like we should fit, like,
I'm lost here.
you were
Yeah.
still in school. So
Well,
who wants to do the sum up?
we passed through this town a while ago on the way back and saw some weird stuff was happening, went to try to help, but then were confronted by a coven of hags who were far out of our pay grade to fight. So we left the town to them thinking we damned them all, but then Lark went off to his little court and said that these hags were doing... Well, they were acting outside of the approval of the court or something. They were doing something I don't understand what your world approves of and doesn't approve of, but they didn't approve of it, so then his queen killed all of them.
They
So
were
they're no longer living.
There's a lot of hags involved, but this particular trio are currently beheaded. Dead, as it were, because Percy seems to be framing it so he can understand it in some way that it was out of the goodness of my heart versus the practicality of stopping people from getting in my way who they were quite honestly lower pay grade than the court I serve. So, a little tit for tat, they threaten us, they interfere with Arthur's dreams a few times, I think, and I tattled to them to my queen, and they're dead now.
So how long ago was that? Could we like raise one of them and be like, what was your deal?
I don't think we have access to their bodies.
Damn.
No.
I'm hoping to go in that direction. Let's raise some dead and ask them. But never
Nope.
mind.
We found out in a similar way that Arthur's whole village being destroyed was by a different coven of hags doing a similar thing with an army of the dead. So I thought that could coincide with the army of the dead that dropped dead around here too. And there's also another coven of hags in the north that we haven't taken care of that, I don't know, they have a saint up there that's actually manifesting on purpose, so maybe she'll handle things. But really, hags are hags. You deal with them. Occasionally they cause some chaos and steal a few souls and bind someone into eternal servitude. It's like a weekend of fun, really.
Sometimes you're gay and you go to brunch with them and then they're still hags.
Ironically, when we go to the Waltz of Shadows, we're being escorted by one of the scariest
group of hags.
in the Feywild. Because we did them a favor.
Mm.
Favors are worth more than their weight in gold where I'm from.
Well, we should probably take a look around, maybe check in on that inn also, see if the undead are truly gone from the whole area.
You just want to do that so you can flirt with the bartender again, Percy.
I don't think I ever flirted with him, but sure. And
I mean, that was when I first began to suspect your strange fetish for barkeeps that you so eloquently applied to Svetlana over and over again.
Yep, that's what happened. I want to write a note. Like I probably have like a journal or something. I'm going to tear a page out. I'm going to write a note that says, your deal hasn't been forgotten. It's simply under new management. If you want help, come here. I'm going to put my address in Darkmoor.
All right.
I'll slide it under the door.
All right. There seems to be no response from inside.
Which, I mean, like,
his wife doesn't read that.
I hope she does, honestly.
I mean, she knows that he made a deal with hags, and we all literally were there when the coven got killed and the queen, their deal with Arthur defaulted to the queen. So, like,
yeah,
I feel like it makes sense that this would probably default to her too.
Probably.
Or she could offload it to somebody else. I don't know. It might be small fish for her.
But either way, it's probably getting later in the day. It would make sense to stop here for the night, check on things. I'm hopeful the undead problem is truly over.
He really wants to check on one thing.
Yeah.
Lark and I use that to each other. Like,
So what all would you like to do now?
I'm gonna look through my notes and see if there's any other connections we made here. There's the baker lady.
The baker lady with the fabulous purple hair.
Yeah,
It was red. It was her lipstick that was
Grenadine
purple.
Her lipstick was purple. See, in my head it went, everyone has purple hair in my head tonight?
Okay.
We could go check on Grenadine. Why don't we go put the carriage away first? But yeah, I think that's the only real we could. They said Billy Blatter has been missing probably for a while now at this point. We could ask around about that. I don't need. I mean, he was probably taken by the hags, as that was probably their last hurrah before they were killed.
Was that one of the kids who was fucking around with
He was the one who put the blood all over their house.
Okay.
You remember him as being like a really big dude.
Yeah, was he one of the he's not a kid, he was a guy.
He was a guy. He was an adult.
I'm just like, what were the names? Then again, I don't even know if we ever got the names of those kids who were
I don't think we did.
hanging out with Frau Kinder Eater.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think you got any of their names. You just scared them until one of them pissed their pants and they all ran off.
Thanks.
It'd be like that sometimes. Let's
I didn't even get to give those children seeds too.
Let's go to the inn, get a room and stuff, and then maybe go check on Grenadine. So yeah, we'll do that.
All right. So you head back to the maggoty grave, passing under the very familiar tree that at once hung multiple strange and eerie bodies that then came to life and attacked you on your very first night. It's strange being back where it all started. You re-enter.
Oh, can we have Arthur
grave.
use his undead sense to see if it's like there's really no more undead around?
Oh, right, because it's like what, like
It's
a
like 2
billion and a
miles or
half
something
miles.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he uses the sense. Not that he can spot.
That's
There's legitimately
good.
no undead. But yeah, you re-enter the maggoty grave. It is seemingly almost just as you left it. The tables have been rearranged, but aside from the absence of Simon and Samantha, Simon, of course, who was choked to death, and Samantha, who is now somewhere in the Feywild,
They need to get a whole new staff for this place.
yeah, which apparently he has not. Good old Boris Oslo has not done so. You also notice that there is not as many people hanging around here, but as you enter, the very familiar, very big barrel-chested man comes out from behind the bar. Oh, hello. I didn't think I'd ever see you all again. How is everything? How's everything been?
That's a long story. We've been making it. It seems we heard that the undead problem has been solved.
Surprisingly, yes. They all just. It seems like a convenient thing to happen. They just all dropped dead, stopped moving.
Well, we're confused, but glad that it seems to be over. We're here for the night. Could use some rooms and a place to put our carriage, but we're glad to see you've
yes,
been
of course.
well.
Yes,
If a little short-staffed, it would seem.
Yes, after the death of Simon, then there was Samantha going missing, and about 2 weeks later, just up and vanished, left all of her things too, just never got them.
How strange.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you're brought a new guest with you.
Hi, I'm Alex.
My
You're
cousin.
hot.
Nice to meet you, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I definitely have rooms available. Ever since the attack, quite a few people died, so there haven't been as many people around here as much. So I certainly have some rooms available. Price is the same as last time.
All right. Yeah, we'll take 3 rooms, I guess.
All right. And he takes your gold and he gives you the keys to the rooms. They're all right there at the top of the steps.
Thank you. Has anything strange happened since we've been gone? We just like to
Tabs.
help if anything has been happening.
Not that I'm aware of, not aside from the huge undead attack where they all dropped dead. Since then, everything's been shockingly normal.
I guess no news is good news.
At the moment, yes.
Well, we'll be around, so probably have some dinner later. Thank you. And as we walk up to our rooms, I'm gonna kind of fill Alex in about how last time we were here, we heard rumors about him doing dark deeds in the night. But as far as we've seen, he's been amicable.
What kind of dark deeds?
I don't know. He would go missing and people would gossip, say he was doing
Oh, who is fucking?
Okay. And I'm just gonna go put my stuff in my room.
I mean, you could try inviting him to your room and finding out what happens.
Is he married? I'm no homewrecker. I'm only a home killer.
Well, you could certainly ask him. I don't know his whole story. I've stayed
mean,
here
like-
once.
You know, if we really wanted to pry, we could see if I could get his lips to loosen, and not in the way you're thinking.
You don't think that I can charm him with my own ways? Wow, Lark. Wow, you don't think I could charm
I
him?
think you could, Alex. I think your method of charming is just a little less subtle than.
I mean, lately, okay, how about this? If I fail, Lark can get at him.
You know, we could use some amusement tonight.
What are you going to
Okay.
wager on this, Alex?
Oh, bitch, no, I ain't wagering shit with you. Hell no. I wager this. I actually tell you what, I'll enter a wager with you, Lark. I'll enter a wager with you. It is, if I lose, you get to sip out of my bottomless bottle of coffee whenever you'd like.
Why would I like your coffee?
Exactly. That's
What
your
do you
wager, buddy.
What even is coffee?
Exactly. That's your wager. That's all I'm giving up.
It's
Something
just
you
like
would not
ground
like
bean juice.
as a win.
Sounds hideous. No thank you.
Okay.
It needs
well,
a lot of sweetener to be good.
that was the first and last time you're ever gonna get an offer for a wager from me, baby.
You're not missing much.
Yeah. Tastes delicious and it's iced. Okay.
All right, well, go get him, Tiger.
Rawr.
I'm gonna make my way down to watch.
1 second. I need to plug this in. 1 second.
Oh.
Or else Alex is gonna go offline.
I once went to one of his dorm parties, and his method of flirting is really just going up to each person and immediately asking if he can suck their dick until someone finally says yes. So
True. It's true.
Oh, there's no chase. There's no.
no, it's pretty much just pouncing immediately.
Ow. Okay, so I go up to the bar, ask him like, hey, like, how you doing? I don't think we properly introduced ourselves. My name's Alex. What's yours?
Well, my name is Boris Oslo. I've been running this place for quite some time. Are you here to order a drink?
Yeah, what do you have on tap?
I really only just have a local wine, an ale. Sometimes we have mead, but not very often.
Oh, what? Why not? Where do you get your meat from?
And it just kind of comes with a shipment every once in a while. Not exactly from anyone specific.
Oh, nice. What's your favorite? What's your favorite to drink?
I always go for the ale. I'm not exactly a wine person.
Yeah, no, I relate to that. Okay, give me an ale, and you want pour one for yourself as well.
Well, all right then. And he pours 2 ales from the cask and sits down and starts drinking his.
I start drinking mine as well. So tell me more. So you said you've always owned this bar? How long have you owned it for?
Oh, I stopped counting the years quite a few years back.
Nice. I'm sure you get a ton of interesting people that come through these doors.
Not exactly. Your cousin, was it?
Yeah, cousin.
Yeah, and his friends were the first interesting people to come through the door for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow. Crazy about these. It's a crazy world out there. It really is.
well, it was for a while here, but thankfully it's not so crazy anymore.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't really listen to a lot of the gossip. It's just gossip.
Oh, surely you must. You own a bar.
Most people just come here to unwind, have a drink, forget that they had to work a day in the field or take care of pigs.
Mhm.
We don't really get a lot.
I mean, okay. What's the craziest thing you've heard? I bartended in college. It's fun. You get to know everything. Tell me all the tea. And I go and I say I grab us two more. So I'm very friendly. So I just reach across the bar and just fill up both of our steins again and like drop it.
I don't really remember. Nothing too interesting. So and so stole someone's pig and let it loose.
Crazy.
Someone, jumped a fence. Nothing really too exciting.
Surely there's more. It seems like a crazy town.
Nope, it's incredibly boring around here.
Really? Not even any visitors at all? Surely you're on the way to the major hotspot. You're on the way to Mourning.
Yeah, well, most of the interesting people stop at Gravesend.
What's there? I've never been here. What's Gravesend?
Well, Gravesend is a small town just that way. They're known for coffin making.
Gotcha. Is that very in right now? Well,
Well, it's
surely
always
it
been
is.
in. It's always been in. It's never not been in.
True. Particularly with all these dead bodies outside, am I right?
It certainly did leave a mess.
Very much so. I wonder why they all came up again. I'm really curious. Do you have any suspicions of why? Surely you do. Of why they just came alive.
Well, I mean, there was the rumor about the hags in the woods, but I mean, every town has one of those.
Of course.
Not really too interesting. Perhaps it had something to do with that. I
Mm.
didn't really get a lot of news on that front.
Ooh, but what news did you do? What news did you get? Hags are crazy.
So I've heard, but never had any run-ins with any of them.
Mm. But surely, what else did you hear about the hags? I'm so curious about these hags. They seem haggish.
Well, obviously they are. They're hags.
Do you think their favorite dish is haggis?
I'm not sure. Not very many people's favorite dishes are haggis.
You
I don't mind it, but
get it? Because hags, haggis.
I got the joke.
Okay, but tell me more about these hags. What did you hear from? Like, what did you hear about them?
I just heard they were living in the abandoned village Pinprick. And kind of jerks his thumb
Gotcha.
over in that direction. It's been gone for maybe around a few years. Just mysteriously disappeared. We lost contact with it, and
Wild.
apparently, but it's been like that for quite some time.
So that's interesting. Very interesting. That's crazy. Yeah, those hags. I heard they make deals like no other.
Yeah, that is their whole deal. That's what they make them.
Nice one. Nice one. So you got
Yes,
jokes.
I do, just not very often.
Fair, but that was a good one. That was a very good one.
If you say so.
Yeah. It would be crazy if somebody made a deal in this town with a hag.
I wouldn't really be surprised.
Why do you say that?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Everyone hears about hags. They, they're desperate. They want to make a deal. They don't care what the price is. That's what all the fairy tales are about.
Mm. Good old-fashioned fairy tales. These fae telling their tales.
Well, they get floated around every once in a while, but not really my thing.
Fair. Very fair. Retail.
Hmm.
I feel like Lark and Percy are like obviously eavesdropping, and he's just gonna be like very low to Percy. He's really bad at this.
And I hear it.
I'm
I'm there,
muted.
y'all.
It's never been his strong suit.
If you'd like, you can roll a perception check to see if you hear that.
Oh, and note for the listeners here, Colton and I were roommates, so that was deep in college. So I hit even deeper.
All right, well,
Wait, let's see. Give me 1 second to grab into my dice app. Got a 12.
I mean, you heard them whispering about something, but you couldn't quite make out what it was.
So is there a Mrs. in your life or a Mr.?
Nope, I've been running this place alone. I'm pretty fine with being alone.
Fair, we gotcha. Gotcha. Do you ever see yourself with anybody?
I don't know. Usually that comes with kids, and I'm not too fond of kids.
Fair, same. Neither am I. A bunch of little rudracks running around is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, definitely not mine either. I don't need that in my life.
Definitely. If only there's a way of having fun with somebody and not having kids. That doesn't end up in kids. And in that case, I start stroking his hand softly.
Oh my god.
He kind of rolls his eyes and just keeps drinking.
Oh, fuck.
Does he get to make like a persuasion or anything?
Yeah. Can I roll? Can I roll charisma? I don't know, persuasion or charisma, which one?
You know what? Just roll a charisma check. Just straight charisma.
17. Wait, 17. Yeah, and I also have a plus. I don't know. Does +2 work or anything? Some plus. Never mind. I got 17.
All right. Well, if it's 17 plus 2, that would make it 19.
So 19.
He kind of rolls his
did he fuck
eyes a
me?
little bit, and he just goes, "Well, you seem very forward."
It's my specialty, among other
I'm
things.
sure it is. I'm sure it is. Well,
Was a 19 check at me?
Andy in the back room.
Well, if you're wondering, I do get off work around 11.
Oh, good to know. I'll definitely come by. Wait, what time is it? Isn't it like 10 or 30?
It's like
or
7. It's like 7 o'clock.
Oh, well. Okay, then I will come on over around 11 and maybe we can continue this conversation somewhere more comfortable.
All right, then. It's a deal.
Cool. See you then. I just saunter over all cockily to the guys being like, and I learned some more information. I learned, it's like I walk up to them and be like, I learned some interesting I learned some information, the slurring over it. I learned some interesting information and I got a date later tonight. So second Lark.
Did you get him to spill about any of the dark rumors circulating about him?
Not any of the dark rumors about him, but he knew a lot about the hags over in Coffinsville or whatever the fuck that is.
Gravesend?
Yes, that.
Alex, I lived there. You wrote to me several times while I lived there.
Anyways, he knew a lot about the hags living over there.
Well,
He also
I look
knew
at
a lot
Lark
about
and I'm like, so should we leave this to them, to Alex for their encounter later, or do you want to try your hand?
Why
Just
should we
do it.
sully pleasure with business for him?
Well, I guess we can just go check on Grenadine then.
Oh no, I'm saying I can
Ah,
Percy.
I didn't hear what you said. I assumed it was no.
Percy. No. We can leave Alex to whatever is going to happen for him later, but I'm curious myself. And I'm not
You can
trying to sleep
watch.
with that man, so I'm
Yeah,
just going to
You
go.
can watch, Lark. I don't mind.
go for it.
If you're curious, you can watch.
I'm gonna go. So Lark's gonna hail him down to the bar, or where, like, close to the table where Alex and Percy are probably at. So they
Wait, really quick, before you go. I've been prepping some sort of social spells, and I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on you,
Ooh.
and give you Eagle Splendor, so you have advantage on Charisma checks.
Oh,
Ooh.
I don't even.
Good conversation.
What happened to your mic, Alex? I couldn't hear any of that.
Oh, I'm speaking through my laptop, so I might be just fucked up on my laptop.
Oh, sometimes you might just have to shout a little bit at your computer.
Let me just shout at the top of my lungs.
I
Goddamn.
mean, you're going to be later. Just saying. Where are we? So yeah, so Lark's gonna hail him down and be like, wait, his name's Boris, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Boris, darling, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Are you here for a drink?
Do you have any apple cider of any sort, or just the mead?
No, we just have the ale and the wine.
The ale and the wine. A little bit of a thimbleful of wine, if you could please. Or, well, more than a thimbleful, but I'll take a little of your wine and talk some goss, some hot goss with you.
He kind of looks around and he pulls out a small glass, shrugs, puts a bit of wine in it, gives it to you. You wanted to talk?
It's such a shame about what happened to all of this village, all of the wasted potential, and all those people dying. Truly, it could break the heart of any mortal, I assure you. I'm just a little curious, I must admit. As we traveled and our first time through, it feels like it's been ages, hasn't it? I heard a few rumors about you, darling, and the proximity of the Hag Coven. I was concerned. I mean, you know how hag deals can go, don't you?
Well, I can assure you it has nothing to do with the hags.
Then what does it have to do with, dear?
That is my own business.
I'm Faye. I probably know more about things than half of the people who will come through here to talk to you. I really do think you should tell me, and I'm going to cast suggestions subtly.
All right. I have to open a stat block.
Alex is just staring at this, like taking notes, like that SpongeBob meme. Like
Wisdom saving throw for suggestion.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yep. Does an 18 succeed?
An 18 does succeed, unfortunately.
All right. Well, he doesn't know that he had a spell cast at him. What was your suggestion that you had said?
That he should just kind of like spill the beans to Lark.
Well, my business is my business.
Josh has had two like pictures of meat in him from when we've had it. Just saying.
Oh wait, no, it doesn't matter. Part of me just wants to cast it again and see. I mean, we're gonna go to bed in a minute. I have the spell
Yeah.
slots to keep going, and the sorcery.
I'm trying to see if there's anything I can do to help.
Because like Eagle Splendor, I don't know if a persuasion check is enough to get somebody to spill their darkest secrets to a relative stranger.
Probably not.
Person. Does that work?
Huh?
Would charm person work in this situation?
Yeah.
I also have Charm Person, but suggestions just like stronger. And he doesn't know if I fail. Charm Person, he doesn't know if I fail.
You would know if I cast it, that I failed. Maybe I'll lose sleeping with him, but like, what else?
Can I cast Bane without him knowing I cast it on him?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He would definitely know something happened.
Wait,
Yeah.
this
With
is dumb.
Bane.
Could I silvery barbs his saving throw on the first one?
I would say he would definitely know some fuckery is going on if you cast Silvery Barbs.
I mean, it's a verbal component. I could just like cuss and Sylvan real quick. Nah, I'm kidding. Part of me is just like maybe wants to insist. Or wait. Can we use Rerek's portents for this? He hasn't used them today.
He hasn't used them.
He has already rolled. So
took a
it
long
would be
rest.
too
It's
late.
a new day. It's a new day.
It is a new day. Because portents reset with each long rest.
No, I mean he's already rolled
Yeah, it would
the
have to be a
saving
new-
throw.
I'm saying if I
and-
recast it, can we use a portent on that one? If there's a really low one?
Sure, you
I
certainly
got
can.
a natural 20 and a 6.
So after Lark realizes the first suggestion fails, he's gonna be like, Boris, please. It's Boris, right?
Yes.
It's Boris Oslo, not Oslo Boris. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Boris, please. I really do think you should tell me what's going on with you to see if I could offer any aid or anything. I think he's gonna subtle spell suggestion again.
All right.
And maybe Percy kicks.
Yeah. So I kick Rerek into paying attention.
Yeah, he kind of looks up from his bed, and kind of looks over. And yeah, you can use the 6. So that would mean that he rolled a 7.
Motherfucker. Yeah, he fails. And I have 1 second level spell slot and 5 sorcery points left.
All right. And he he kind of looks around a little bit and he kind of leans in. He reaches underneath his vest and pulls out a small wooden charm that's shaped like it's a very simply whittled bear head that he pulls out. And he just says, "Don't tell anyone else. I'm not sure how they'll react, but I come from a very long line of werebears."
That is going to be great.
Oh, darling.
And he just tucks it back in and stands back up.
But so you slink away so no one sees you transform then?
I don't necessarily need to. I was born a werebear, so I have total control over it. It's not necessarily a curse. It's part of my being, but the itch is still there sometimes. So yes, I sneak off, I transform, and I run around the woods as a bear for a little bit.
I'm impressed you didn't cross paths with the hags given your condition. One would assume there's a aroma of magic to you in that state. One more so than you have now, and they are particularly shrewd, one might say. So, why is everyone, like, talking shit about you, though? Just because you vanish a few times? You don't actually hurt people when you're off on your little trips, right?
No.
Yes.
No, it's only really werewolves that have the urge to eat people, although they, especially the ones that are born with it, can control that ability. So it's very rare that a lycanthrope actually eats somebody, but I think they assume that I am a werewolf and are afraid for that reason.
Human ignorance.
So it seems. So that's why I'm always a little cagey when it comes to what I do.
How exactly did it start in your family, though? I'm just curious.
I have no idea. We've just always been werebears. We've always owned the maggoty grave, and we've always been werebears. It's the way that it is.
It's your little tryst with Alex isn't going to turn him into a werebear, is it?
No, it would only be if I bit him in either my hybrid form or as a bear.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted that.
Let's be honest, he probably would if he knew. Well, is there anything else that I can do for you before I go and deal with the stew in the back?
Well, you told me something close to your heart, so I feel it only necessary that I return a little bit of the favor. Keep your eye out on Charles and Seluna and their daughter Charlotte in the days to come. All right, Peach?
I don't think they've ever come into the tavern, but I guess I will.
Let's just say consuming twilight doesn't just vanish so easily. Right? To my understanding, Percy over there's a doctor, and he explained a little bit of it to me. And
I know nothing about it. I guess it doesn't.
One might say that the close proximity of hags and a dying girl suddenly getting healthy, a little sus, as the young folk might say back in Darkmoor.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I guess I've never really had them come in. I don't really recognize the name.
Oh, and if the Bear King ever does contact you based on your condition, he's a complete tool. Just to let you know.
All right.
I
Got
don't
it.
know. Actually, he did send a bear pelt that animated itself and tried killing us once. So actually be careful, because he might try to turn you into a pelt. How rude.
You certainly run in some interesting circles.
Fairies do as fairies do. Am I right?
I guess so. Well, I have a stew to stir. I will leave you to whatever machinations you have.
Toodles.
He kind of gives you a little salute before heading back into the kitchen.
Yeah, Lark's gonna fly over and be like, you all overheard that, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I purposely.
Tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not hurting anyone, so I guess we can keep our noses out of it. Or if the two of us can.
Yes.
Well, tonight when I see him undress.
Did we make sure that you have a room to yourself?
Oh yeah, we all have separate rooms.
I thought we only rented like 2 or 3.
We got 3.
Yeah, you guys got 3.
Percy, I'm rooming with you tonight. Actually, I
think you're
probably
special.
already normally room with Percy.
Yeah.
Also, let's face it, if I'm like, I'll probably just have sex back in his room. Probably has a room.
Well, should we spend our last few hours before bed checking on Grenadine and her bakery, or?
I suppose we could do that after we let Arthur finish his drink and whatever excuse for stew this slop is.
It's not the worst thing ever.
After heart to heart, you're gonna complain about his stew, Lark? Wow.
Oh, Alex, you sweet summer child.
I know you got the information, that's all you wanted, but still, have some respect for the werebear. I'm about to werebear that dick.
My goodness.
Although Alex does realize that, you know what, maybe Boris wasn't that fully into it, you know? So Alex goes back up to the bartender and asks, okay, point blank, do you want to fuck tonight or nah? Yay or nay? It's all good. Because I wasn't getting consensual from the way you said it before, and I don't want to have anything unconsensual. So I just wanted to phrase that right away. Are you down? Are you not down? Put me straight and or queer.
Well, let's put it this way. If you want to, then I want to.
So is that a yes or no? I need a yes or no.
Let's call it a
Yes
yes.
is consent. Okay, good. Is it a full yes? Is it a full yes, I consent to this? Or is this a nah? Like maybe. Because a maybe is not a fully yes consensual.
It is a yes.
Okay, brilliant. I'll see you back at 11. Sorry, I was an RA during college. Wanted to make sure. Or else my RD, shout out to Carrie. Just shout out to Carrie Starowski. Would be really upset with me for not doing that.
He kind of gives a funny look and then goes back to the kitchen to continue stirring the stew and preparing it.
And that for all these viewers, consent is key. Yes means yes. Anything else is a no.
Yes, like I feel like it should go unstated that the way Lark acts is not the way I think as a person.
Also, Lark was not trying to sleep with this man, so it's
no,
fine.
he just roofied him to get the truth out of him, kind of like our government would do.
Oof. Oh yeah, deep cut. Yep.
Sorry, I got too real, listeners, but it's the truth.
Lark, I represent Lark as a folklorically accurate fairy. Do with that as you will.
All right, so what are you all doing now?
Grenadine?
Let's go get one of Grenadine's pies.
I mean, that stew is delicious in my book, and that ale was that drink was great. Let's go finish this up with a pie. Or something. Actually, I've never been here. I don't even know where that is. I'll be like, can I get anything sweet around here? Like, can we get some dessert?
Grenadine's pie shop, though.
Yes.
Should you be eating that much based on my limited understanding of human biology and what may or may not happen tonight? I eat petals and butterflies and people's faces, but that's just me.
I don't really feel like discussing your bowel movements. Let's just go talk to Grenadine.
It's fine. It's fine. I actually have a I actually have a cantrip that just is magically in there that I can just pull out and just.
Oh, you know shape water too.
Yeah.
Shape water.
Just cast.
Prestidigitation and shape water.
Jesus, every gay guy in D&D needs to know shape water and prestidigitation.
Okay.
Okay, canonically, even though it's for this situation, canonically, I have those spells that I will use. They're not in my spell book, but for this situation, because it's fucking hilarious, they are for tonight. I quickly learned them. Oh my goodness. I quickly learned them.
Or it's just, you could ask your friends for help.
I asked Lark. I was like, hey, actually on that though, is there like a spell I could quickly learn to quickly douche? And you're like, and Lark's just like, sure, babes, here you go. Have fun.
All right, so Grenadines.
Yeah.
You make your way over to the very familiar town of Weeping. It's tall pine trees and scene. It's God damn it. It's tall pine trees
Get off my camera.
leaning over the road. And the very familiar wide-brimmed hats and sturges flying around everywhere.
So
You
the
do-
weird sturge bugs are still here.
Oh yeah, they never
Cool.
left. Yeah, and you find your way to the very familiar watermill, which seems to, you actually, as you're approaching, you do see Grenadine walk up and flip the sign from open to closed.
I guess real quick, I'll run up. I'm so sorry to bother you. Hi, do you remember us? We were here a little while ago.
Oh, yes. Oh, how lovely it is to see you again. Come in, come in.
We don't need to impose if you're closing up.
Oh, that's all right. It's going to be the last few days that this shop is going to be open.
Oh, you're closing?
Well, not exactly closing. I'm moving.
To where?
I'm moving to Darkmoor.
Oh, it's just where we live there. That's amazing.
Oh, how lovely. I just assumed there would be, less rats there.
Are you still having rat problems even after the?
Well,
I think
everybody's still been having a few rat problems.
Okay,
But I don't
I guess
think
that makes
it's
sense.
those little
Not
brats.
magically induced rat problems.
No, I don't think so. But there's still a few kicking around. I think their little prank brought more rats in than was needed, and they just went everywhere. Oh, it was awful. I had one broom for sweeping and one broom for killing rats. It was awful.
Like, we know that Grenadine's not like weird, right? She's just a businesswoman.
She's just a kooky old lady. There's nothing weird
Like,
about her.
we detected magic and all that other shit before.
Yes, because you were attacked by the rats.
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, Alex, this lady's shop got attacked by a bunch of rats that the hag sent for some reason.
Gotcha.
The
And also,
hag's fucking
Alex said himself, I suddenly no longer want pie.
Oh, don't worry. I haven't had too many rats lately.
Are you putting the rats
pie?
into the pie, though?
Okay,
No,
I would
oh,
love
no.
a key lime. Yes, thank you so. I'll give her a couple gold for the pie.
Oh, that's very sweet. This will help with the move.
We're just passing through, checking on people we met when we came here the first time. And we're so happy to hear that you're coming to Darkmoor. You'll definitely have some loyal customers.
Definitely let us know when you're there. This key lime pie is delicious.
Yes. It's not exactly my specialty, but it's one that reminds me of my childhood.
What was your childhood like, Grenadine?
Oh, playing in the fields, coming back to a lovely key lime pie. Well, my mother used to visit the Vulcan Islands quite a bit, and so she brought back all kinds of limes and things, and that's where she found out about key lime pie. It's very lovely. She made it for us all the time when we were kids.
That sounds amazing. This is delicious. But nothing since we've left after. We heard about the whole undead situation.
Oh, yes.
And we're glad to hear that seems to be over. Has anything else strange happened since we've been gone?
No, nothing else.
We heard that Billy Bladder went missing some time ago.
Oh, yes. He went missing while there were still the undead around. We think he went off into the woods and got killed by one of them. Good riddance. No one liked him. We can all admit that. But there hasn't exactly been a big search party going out to find him. If his body turns up, it turns up.
Well, I'm glad to hear that things have been relatively safe. And you seem like you're doing well. So enjoy your pie, and we'll probably head on back to our inn and stay for the night.
All right. Well, it was lovely to see you, and it was lovely to give you some of our pie.
Thank you. When you get into town, let us know. We'll help you. We'll help you move into your new place.
Oh, of course. I'll see if I can get into contact with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
Lark will probably
I'll
just
write my address on a piece of paper and hand it to her. This is where my family lives.
What did Alex say?
I'm about to say, and I mean, Percy and I will help. Lark will probably just float and just make stupid comments, but he'll be there.
I was just going to tell Grenadine that I know I know a guy. If you're ever interested in getting some actual candied flowers, the kinds you plant and they grow candies off the end of them.
Oh.
Well, not a guy, but she's quite fabulous as well.
Well, that would certainly be convenient for some of my pies. Well, I will keep this in a safe place. And you watch as she pulls out this like very well-worn cookbook, opens it up to the first page and puts it in, and then closes the book. There, it'll be nice and safe in here.
All right.
Thank you for everything, and I hope to see you again very soon.
Definitely. We'll see
Bye.
you.
And she shuts the door, and you see her begin to sweep the floor through the windows as she prepares to fully close for the evening.
All right. Bedtime.
That's exciting. We get pie. Get pie when we get back home. That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So you make your way back to the Maggoty Grave. And I'm assuming most of you are going to bed.
Yes.
I go up to a restroom and try out this new spell.
It works a treat, almost instant.
Fantastic.
In the back of his head, Lark's like, I could just curse that boy to have gas all night.
I mean,
Oh my goodness.
wherever I might be into it, you never know.
Then you get to use remove curse.
Wait. Okay, wait. Can we do that actually real quick?
Oh my God. You're going to remove curse yourself?
I'm not going to be that spiteful, but part of the remove or part of the bestow curse spell is you can just make up effects instead of picking the ones as long as your DM agrees. So I'm like, can I just curse someone with like gas or like ED?
Gas and extreme bowel symptoms.
I guess you can. Let me briefly check.
I curse you with IBS.
Bestow curse.
Bestow curse of IBS and lactose intolerance.
It's like the last, like if you don't want any of the bullet points they recommend, they're like, you can also just talk to your DM to come up with ideas for curse.
Oh yeah, a remove curse spell ends the effect. At the DM's option, you may choose an alternative curse effect, but it should be no more powerful than those described above. The DM has the final say in such curses effects. So yes, I would say that you could curse someone with gas.
I'm not gonna do that. But the idea crosses Lark's mind.
All right.
Brilliant.
All right.
Ding dong, it's 11. I go down and I flirt a little bit with Boris, and then the screen fades to black.
Yes, it does. You know what? Just for funsies, roll me a Constitution check. Just for funsies.
I got a natural 20. Well, I just rolled a 20. So that was before addition anything.
All right. Yeah, it's
Plus
great.
one. So it's 21.
All right. Yeah, it's great.
Yay!
It's a great experience.
But do I see the little bear charm at all? And does that even cross my mind?
I would say with a 20, I'm going to say probably not, but you do see it.
Okay, cool. They're like, that's such a cute piece of jewelry. Anyways, take my dick, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so it is later at night. I will let you determine on whether or not you stay in Boris's room or go back to the one that you are assigned. But it is probably around 4 o'clock in the morning when something happens. You hear hoofbeats, galloping, and a loud whinny before a very familiar voice shouts out from the darkness, "Lark of the Feywild, I challenge you to a
God damn.
duel." It is the voice of Samantha.
Of course it is.
And we're going to end that episode there. So join us next week while we figure out what the hell is going on with this duel. And we'll see if Lark throws down the gauntlet or not. So join us next week. See you then.